All right. So the investment is officially at 822 and some change. It's grown $300 plus, a little bit over $300 in the last 26 days, considering this is day 26 example. Now, realistically, I'm on like day 47. So stay tuned so you can follow the journey. Now, this is what you got to understand, and this is what most people are asking at this time. Can I actually touch the money? Can I actually withdraw the money? First of all, you got to understand that anything that you go into investment wise, you do want to understand how to go about taking it out. And I'll let you know some of the rules and regs that come along with it, because just like any investment, whether it's a CD or certain investment accounts, depending on how it's categorized, of course there are rules to the game, but as long as you know that something can be taken out, then you find your exit strategy. Now, a couple of things to consider. You want to make sure that when you exit, that your money has doubled. So I'm going to pull out the calculator and show you what day typically the money can double by. But I'm ahead of schedule, ahead of track, so I know I'll be able to double much sooner than the typical. Most people double their money within 60 days. Very important to know. And I'll show you how the 1.2% predicts that. But upon enrolling, you get some bonuses and things of that nature that help you do it a little bit faster. Now, it's very important to know that when it comes to making the initial investment, what you put in can likely double to within 60 days. So some people may start with 500, some may start with 1,000. I'm having conversations with people who want to start with way more. But that's beside the point, because percentage wise, your money can still multiply and compound on a day-to-day basis. Now, can you actually touch the money? Now, when I got in, I knew that I could touch the money because I knew of people that I trusted and seen with my own eyes them pulling out the money, them actually showing, hey, this is my withdrawal day. They actually have withdrawal parties where they have a certain amount of people who will get on the particular Zoom. Should I cut that out? I don't know. I might cut that out, but I might keep it. But they have times where people get on a particular Zoom and they'll withdraw their money. Now, this is important to know because they're having withdrawal parties, which means that people are winning in a real way, meaning that people are looking forward to taking amounts out. Now, some people say, nah, I just want to let it ride because I did the math and by this time I have this. But what happens when you double your money and you withdraw, now you make your potential scam, for those who think that, it's a scam, you make your scam a risk-free investment. So you just turned your initial investment into something that's risk-free because you've taken out the initial amount that you put in. Anything from there is up. So that's how you take that. Now, every day that you don't do it, you're missing out on the opportunity for your money to compound, because the math and the time is just the math and the time. Days will continue to pass. Compounding will continue to happen. The only question is, will your money be compounding, or will you be on the sidelines hoping and wishing and wanting this thing not to succeed for those who are involved? That choice is yours. What I do is just want to document the journey and show you, okay, this is where I'm at on this day, and this is how I'm progressing, and you'll see futuristically other things that I share as well. Now, when it comes to withdrawing, there are certain things you have to be aware of. You have to do like if you're familiar with crypto, then you understand KYC. KYC is know your customer. You have to prove that you're a real person, show your ID, things of that nature, just like you would at a bank or any other financial institution. So that shouldn't be anything new. So if a person is wondering, why I got to show my ID? I mean, do you show your ID when it's time to pull out money from the bank? Okay, what about with the investment brokerage accounts and things of that nature? Okay, what about crypto with the KYC? No different. So that's that. Then there are withdrawal fees associated with it. Now, if you withdraw too early, you get a penalty fee because you didn't let the initial investment double. Now, there are plenty of investments like that. If you withdraw from a retirement account too soon, there's a penalty to pay. Very similar. So, that being said, you want to make sure your money doubles. But there also is a platform fee that you'll pay upon withdrawal. But the money and the math makes sense to me. So I'm like, okay, if I got to pay this fee, of course that makes sense because I've already made 100%, 200% on my money. I'm okay with that fee because it's a win-win scenario. The exchange has to do the conversion and do certain things, and now you withdraw it and you're able to put it on your bank or back in your bank. So the fees come along with it. It's not a monthly transaction or membership in order to be a part of BG Wealth Sharing. It's a transaction fee when you withdraw, and that's just how the business operates. It's just part of the game. And if you're okay with that, cool. But it is a real business. Now, let's go through the calculator real quick just so you can see when my money is likely to double based on their math, and then you'll know for you based on what you plan to invest when your money can be risk-free, to where you take out what you initially invested because you thought it was risky, or you was thinking it could have been a scam, but you wanted to at least give it a try because you didn't want each day to pass and your money not be growing by 1.2%, whatever your reason is for joining. Let's see what the math is, and then from there you decide. And if you want to join, then it's a link down below. And if you're already a part of BG Wealth Sharing, then it's a system that you can highly benefit from. I got a guy, he really is loving the system of helping people get exposed to what BG Wealth has to offer. That said, check out those links. But let's see how the money can double so you'll know when your investment will be risk-free. And comment below, if you start, how much do you plan to start with? That way I can start doing some examples based on what you plan to start with. But we'll use the example of 500 and 1,000 so you'll know when your money can be risk-free. All right, so back to the daily compound interest calculator we go. And let's say the principal amount that you plan to start with is 500. You want to start with at least 500. That's the recommended amount. For several reasons, you get an extra bonus, etc. But 500 is the amount. So let's say that money is growing by 1.2% daily, including 7 days a week, because it's based on trading the crypto market, Bitcoin to be specific. And Bitcoin doesn't shut down, doesn't have off days, holidays, none of that. Every day it trades. So every day you copy trade is every day that you compound your money at 1.2% on the low end. That being said, let's say that happens for a 60-day time frame, because most people double their money within 60 days. Now, keep this in mind. People are doing it faster because of the initial bonuses that you get upon enrolling. Mine actually doubled in like 31 days, which you'll see at a future video if you follow along the journey. The next question is, include all days of the week. Yes, like I mentioned, daily reinvestment rate is 100%. So you're reinvesting the money. For example, just so you can know how that looks. If you start with 500, and let's say that you're earning 1.2% a day, that will end up being about $6 a day. I might be a little bit off on my math, because if it's $1,000 and they're investing $10, then you earn $6 typically per trade. So it might be about $3 and some change per day. That might not sound like a lot, but $3 and some change per day. Now you got 503, then 506, then 509, then 512, then 515. So that money is compounding. So the amount that you earn per day increases daily. And when you compound that, the money grows. And that's where the calculator comes in handy at. So 60 days, let's see what it looks like. Calculate. And now that investment has grown to $1,022. So it's grown by $522. The percentage of the profit is over 100%. So your money has doubled. And that allows you to double your money by May 25th, which is in 60 days. So this would allow you to have a risk-free withdrawal, meaning that you take out the amount that you initially invested on your day 60. Now, I told you, a lot of times this happens sooner. So if you wait to day 60, then it's a good chance that it may be more than this, so you can still withdraw and have a risk-free investment. Now, let's take a look at 1,000. Now, there are people who I'm in communication with, they're wanting to start with a lot more, but, to each his own. So I got somebody wanting to start with 20,000, and it's a certain process you have to go through, but they see the benefit because they started with a lower amount, and now they're like, hold on, I believe in it now. I get it. I understand the importance of it, and they're willing to invest more. But let's just, for the sake of the example, start with do 1,000. Same things across the board, just started with 1,000. Now, the money will still have doubled, because look at the percentage didn't change. The only thing changed is the amount. So the larger the amount, the larger growth amount, but the percentage is going to be the percentage. So that's important to know. If the percentage is the same, then that means that, it's going to grow based on the amount that you put in, period, point blank. So at this point, that person would have doubled their money in 60 days. It'll be $2,045 in their total, and their initial investment was $1,000, which means that the total earnings was $1,045. And at that point, they can take out $1,000. Again, this was able to happen for me a lot sooner, and I was able to withdraw out a little bit more than what's shown on the screen and still leave a little bit more than what's on the screen in the account to continue to compound daily. If you want access It's a link down below. And if you're already a member of BG, then consider looking at that system to see if you can use it to help you grow, because you can shorten and speed up the process if you decide that you want to share it with others. I come from the belief that if something is benefiting me, why not share it with somebody else who you feel it can benefit? If you do not want to share, if you do not want to tell anyone, you do not have to. That's 100% optional. So just keep that in mind, because sometimes people want to know, hey, do I have to share? Do I have to tell people? No. You can just double the money in private, and now you're growing and you're not telling the soul. You're just keeping it to yourself. That's a choice you can make. However, if you decide you want to share, that's another choice you can make, and the option is yours. That's all I got for this video. See you on the next one. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute.